That is a worrying sound. Okay, no, it's not. We're recording. Yeah.
Right, and if my recording works, I'm not editing any of this out, by the way.
Go ahead, man. Put it up. I really don't edit for my channel, anyways.
Uh, uh, Now, when you started YouTube, uh, you started with part 2 of Disgaea 2. Is that right?
Yep. Actually, I started with Disgaea 2 instead of Disgaea 1, just because it was the one I owned at the time, as well as the one I preferred.
No, listen, it's actually like, I've added oldest one, part 3, part 5, part 4, and then it goes in a normal order after that.
It was a very strange order I chose to go with things.
But you completed it
Yep.
after a while.
After a good while, yeah.
Would you say you go back to it, as in you let's play it in a couple of years?
Wait, so you're wondering if I would actually go back and let's play the old Disgaea games again?
Yes, but with different characters, since you have a lot of new subscribers since then. Last time I checked, it was 1001.
Yeah, that is currently where it stands. When I first started Disgaea 2, I had, maybe, by the end of it, all of 30, maybe 40 subscribers, so yeah, I can see myself going back and, let's playing all the old one with a bigger cast of people, maybe.
Yes, but one question. Are you willing to do all that grinding?
If the audience wanted it, yeah, I mean, I've done it for all the other ones. You've seen how large I let the cast go when I shouldn't have, and I still went through with it.
Yes, but you had very, very extensive list that got left behind unleveled.
Oh, yep, I will say that. In the
your own characters.
Yeah, that was an issue I had to work on for the old Disgaea Let's Play. I left a lot of characters that weren't optimal at the time, or that weren't my favorite preferred class, kind of fall by the wayside, while I let a select few kind of grow up in the ranks, and they kind of became the stars of the show.
Not just the old ones, you also did it with Disgaea D2.
I didn't mean to that time.
You left your Prinny at level 1.
Hey, if I remember, that Prinny asked to be remained at level 1.
That was you!
I know, I asked for it!
And every time you noticed it, you said, I should have deleted that by now.
Because I asked to be deleted too, but I kept forgetting about it.
So you request your own characters then?
Rarely.
Well, would you say Disgaea 2 is your favourite game out of everyone?
Of, like, my entire playing of games history?
Yes.
No.
Of the Disgaea series as a whole?
Of the Disgaea series as a whole, I would actually say Disgaea 2 ranks as third or no, it'd probably rank second in my top 5 of the whole Disgaea series.
Alright. Is that including the new ones?
Yep.
So what's
the first one, just because I spent the most time with this one, actively playing it and looking around for things on it, I would actually have to say Disgaea 4.
Alright. And I guess Disgaea 3 would be your least favourite?
Oh, yeah.
Will you finish that?
Everyone keeps asking this.
I just want you to finish it.
Well, I just disliked Disgaea 3 because it was Nippon Ichi's first time making a game on the PS3, and having a series that was sort of like brought up with that whole grid-based, sort of not that great animation system, that they were finally able to stretch their legs. You could see in the game, their sprites, they suffered. Oh, nothing was changed about their sprites, but everything else looked so HD, so I kind of found it strange seeing HD everything, and there are sprites in the middle of it. Plus the fact that they finally were able to put statistician. They were able to put so much more emphasis on the item board, which was a part that I didn't even enjoy at the time to begin with, so I got to not really experienced that much content, which means I didn't even know how to properly level efficiently using their new system that I never heard about or even knew about, and therefore I found the grind to be some of the worst out of the entire Disgaea series.
In that one, if I remember correctly, you couldn't actually learn new abilities by leveling up. You had to use
Yep. You had to get mana and then go to this one NPC character that was in your home base, and you had to go get ability. You had to get that, and you actually had a limited amount of them, I believe, too, that you could hold together for everything. So it really made managing it all kind of strange.
Well, to the extended universe, as in the Nippon Ichi universe, kind of like Phantom Brave, Makai Kingdom, to a lesser extent, I've got on my PS3. You're playing it right now. I cannot remember what it's called.
Mugen
I know it
Souls?
involves Boy.
Wait, which one?
The one that involves Moe.
Mugen Souls.
Yes, thank you.
I said it already.
I didn't hear you. But, about that, there's one question that I would not be allowed to get away with by your subscribers if I didn't ask it, and this is the most opportune moment.
And you're not going to get an answer for it.
I will let you veto 2 other questions. And I know that you will want to veto them because you've vetoed them in the past.
Mm-hmm.
One is your name.
Wait, you gave me my actual name?
Yes.
Oh, it's Jonathan.
Alright. There you have it, folks. His name is Jonathan.
I've said this before. I don't know why people are wondering that.
When did you say it?
I think on my 100 subscriber special, actually.
Yes, but who would watch that at 1,000?
I don't know. Those looking down the memory trail, for all I know.
And the second one is, what is your job? You don't have to say why specifically, but like
My job.
an engineering student. In the field of engineering.
Aren't you lucky? For me, my job was not one that I chose because I enjoyed it. It was one I chose because when I finally decided to move and I joined Arrow and Dark here, it was one that I had to pick up because we needed income for a very dire reason. When I got here, we had bills, we had a lot of stuff that we were not ready for when we all moved here. So I had to get money. I had to get a job to pick up the slack, and what money I came here with was quickly dried out. Well, I'm not exactly proud of the job. I can't say it's one that will get me by.
Are you a man hooker?
A manager?
A man hooker.
No.
Just with the amount of embarrassment you're on about it with.
Well, it's not really much embarrassment.
What field roughly is it?
Unfortunately, it's the field that I personally always said I would never want to take a job in because I'm not a people person like that. I am in the service industry at the moment.
Alright. That could still involve hooking.
No.
Yes, depends what type of service.
Not for me.
So are you a busboy?
No.
Hmm.
Stop trying to guess, move on.
Would it involve playing nearby?
Okay, stop trying to throw darts at a board. Just leave it let the thing die.
Right, okay. You have 2 or 3 roommates, yes?
Yep.
Who are they?
I have 2 roommates. Currently, the one taking a shower right now is Arrow, and the one currently at the job running the shift until midnight is actually Dark.
Alright, would you care to mention their channel names?
I believe Dark is... I think his YouTube name is still Archer12102 or Darker Cantor. He likes to go by both aliases, but he's trying to move toward Darker Cantor now. And as for Arrow, his channel, I believe, is just still Arrow Leali. I have him on the sidebar of my YouTube channel, actually. He started Dead Space, and he's actually creeped out right now because of the regenerating monster that appears somewhere in the game. He just
Alright.
refuses to play it now.
You could do what my brother does and get someone else to play it for him while he watches and talks.
Oh no, he has way too much pride for that.
Or at least have someone there to scream for him, like you, who has a very high scream.
I do no such thing.
Alright. Do a yay.
Yay.
No, a proper yay, the one you do in your video.
If you want that, well, go watch my videos.
You heard him, folks? What your channel is?
Currently, it's like just YouTube / whatever they're changing it to 19 or below 91. I'm the one that looks like a penguin that will explode if it's thrown.
Yes, he has stitches. Penguin with stitches and a crow beak.
It's called a prinny.
It also has peg legs.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't have to do much to make it a pirate prinny, would they?
I think they have touched on the whole pirate thing, like in the several of the games. They're like, when you go into the Emerald, you can get raided by a pirate, and the printies do show up, and they just show up regular. They have to do nothing about pirates. If anything, they just give them an eye patch and they're done.
Oh, by the way, speaking of altering printies, have you seen the anime of Disgaea?
I made the mistake of watching some of it, yes.
English or sub?
See, this was very early on in my anime career where I only knew about the English dub. I didn't know there was a Japanese dub, so I had to watch it in English.
Well, I'm watching it right now.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I've got the DVD so I could watch it in either dub or sub.
I am very sorry for your loss.
No, but before I watched the actual show, I watched the trailer. And that almost made me not want to watch it in English at all. Because of one character's voice. And it is a very famous character. It is one of my favourites. And I think it's one of your favourites.
Okay, that instantly disincludes Flawn, I believe.
He's a very tall figure.
Okay, so it's not Laharo.
He is a male.
Vyers?
Hmm?
Vyers?
No.
Gordon?
He's more of a middle tier character.
Thursday?
I am the Dark Adonis.
That's Vyers!
Is it?
Yes, that's his name! Vyers, the Dark... You're this guy and you don't know this!
I've only heard him referred to as Mid-Boss and Dark Adonis.
His real name is Vyers, or if you follow the lore, it's something else that I can't actually say, because spoilerish.
I have heard him referred to as someone's father.
Okay, you're hinting too much, let's move on.
Yeah, I'm not saying whose. But that is true then.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Damn, it was your stream I got that spoiler on, by the way. And he does stream on, could you name your streaming channel?
Right now, the streaming channel is actually not my own channel. It's actually a joint channel that ties into an incredibly long story that we won't be able to cover in this interview. I'll say that right now. Set the ground rule right there. But the channel I do stream on is currently called ASO Awesome. You can find it on Twitch, on my YouTube videos, and in a lot of places, actually.
You're the only member of that channel that does not have an actual schedule for streaming.
I would say also Arrow and Dark also don't have an actual schedule. Killer Hawk had one, but he fell off because of real-life problems, such as him going to the hospital and a couple other real-life issues that just kind of pounded him into submission. And that's why the channel's been kind of dead. I've been trying to bring it back as today, and Arrow's going to try and do the same again tomorrow with his Demon Souls run, but we're doing what we can with our real-life kind of throwing us around.
It's not just the three of you on that channel, is it?
Oh no, there's a couple of more, but again, real life has come into play, and some of them are, in my opinion, still at the moment ghost members, but I still talk to them every now and then, and they're good guys.
I remember catching a stream, I think his name was Demon. Demon something. I'm not sure if it was on that channel, but the name Demon King or something sticking in my head.
I don't think that was us. I'm going through the. Let me see. There is. Andron was there for a while. There was Ensign. They're still Ensign. There's Dark. There was Arrow. There was myself. There's Killer Hawk. I don't think that was us.
Alright, never mind then. Wipe that name from your memories, people that watch, all 7 of you. Yes, I'm still that small of a channel, though I have interviewed people who, I think the highest was about 3,000 subscribers.
Impressive.
Yes. He's a nice guy. You can catch that, it's one of my better interviews.
I'll have to go looking around for it then.
Though it does have a sort of echo for him.
Should be fine.
Well, it's more of a future echo. As in, like, he'll say his answer, I'll ask the question, and then he'll answer it again.
So the time paradox in the video.
Yes. Hopefully it doesn't happen here.
Hopefully not.
And hopefully neither of our recording systems crash.
I'm hoping mine doesn't, but then again, Bandicam's going in 2-second intervals, so that automatically scares me, but I don't want to look into it.
And did we actually get down to what your favourite game was? Nippon-ichi?
Oh, you're now asking what my favorite game is in the entire Nippon-ichi sort of universe, multiverse aspect?
Yeah. Got into Mugen Souls, and then we sort of went on a tangent before we actually got an answer.
Yeah. It's not Mugen Souls, just because I haven't spent enough time with it. It's got a sort of quirky fun, and it's pretty damn enjoyable in its own right, but the lack of voice acting in that thing, at least for the English dub, is pretty damn hard-hitting, so if I had to say one, I would probably have to say the Guided Fate Paradox, actually.
Yeah, I remember that. It was slightly different from most of the games.
It's most akin to Zettai Hero Project, I think it was called.
It's a dungeon crawler, isn't it?
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
It was pretty much my first one, too, and I did it on YouTube.
So, apart from turn-based strategy games, are there any games you're interested in?
Turn-based strategy has kind of just been my go-to thing, but I'm really just into anything that involves more thinking and less sort of the impulse thing. So that's why I've currently on my off time I play games such as Infinity Wars, that is like sort of the simultaneous turn card game, as well as games such as, not really in the same category, but League of Legends and World of Tanks. Things that, in my opinion, or at least from my playstyle, isn't impulse. It isn't me going in there just twitching to everything. It's kind of me planning out what to do and then trying to go through the motions.
There's a game that I know of. Have you played Fallout 1 or 2?
Nope. Never played any of the Fallout games.
Are you aware of what the Fallout 3 and New Vegas are?
I'm aware of the games, but I've never actually played them.
You're aware of the kind of games they are, though?
RPG-esque shooter. Though it's more categorized as RPG because I have yet to hear someone who categorized Half-Life as a first-person game just because of that.
Well, Fallout has a third person in that, and you don't have to use guns. You can talk your way out of most situations that are not just random encounters.
From experience, it's hard to talk your way out of a barrel.
Unless you're talking to someone with a gun and claiming you're not a fish.
That'd be a hard bargain.
Well, you're a penguin-like creature. I don't think that they'll believe you're a fish for long.
You'd be surprised how stupid some people are.
Well, anyway, it's a game called Wasteland 2. And it's, during the fight sequences, it goes into a grid-like system. You can shoot your weapon a couple times. Turn in. It is on Steam. Though the price here is 30 quid.
I'm actually going to Google this right now. It's $39.99. Oh, dear God. What are you
Yeah,
making me throw my money at?
it, it's a fun game. It, you have abilities. It's Dungeons and Dragons esque with the skill system.
Oh, fun fact, I never actually played D&D.
No, but you've played games like it, yeah?
What,
Where you
D&D?
have stat sheets
Nope.
and that, and you level up. Of course you have. You played Disgaea.
That's not exactly D&D-esque.
It has stats that you control, and they're not just random on level up.
Somewhat.
You could also equip items to increase certain stats, like there's a wee dog statue that's a trinket that could give you Animal Whisperer +1.
Alright.
And it's a party like game, as in you have 4 characters to begin with, and you can acquire more as the game progresses. I think it's about up to 8 or 9 at one time. And it's set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
As many games are these days.
Yes, it was released last year, I believe.
I'm looking at Steam right now. It says it was released September 18th, 2014.
Damn, that was a year off. Crash you time!
Yeah, time's kinda no one.
Right. Off topic slightly. Do you have any favourite TV series, book series, or movies?
Let's go on that with the order that you said. A TV series? I have almost forsaken TV entirely since I started YouTube. I lost pretty much all time that I would use to watch a TV show in general.
Have you seen Avatar, The Last Airbender?
Nope.
Have you seen Legend of Korra?
Nope.
You should.
Oh, I know. I remember watching, like, what, maybe all of 4 episodes of Avatar and maybe 1 episode of Korra, and that's it. And I still have no idea what's going on. I'm determined to finish it, but I'm in no rush to do so.
Korra, right? It's for a more adult audience, not as in sexual or killing wise, but it does have killing in it. It was Nickelodeon didn't know how to handle it. They've taken it off TV as a new series and that, and they've made it a web-based series.
Interesting.
So it's so annoying for me because I have to wait until it supposedly comes out in the UK instead of just being released.
You know, there's a thing to solve all those problems. It's called Google.
Yes, but I am a master of Google Foo. But effort.
Yeah.
My one weakness.
Let's see. After TV shows, you said books, I believe, right?
I did.
Favorite books. Well, currently, I have 2 books that stand out as the ones that kind of left the most impact on me recently. The first one, which I picked up a while ago, and I didn't even really pick up the book. I just randomly was on Audible because Amazon transferred me there, and it was something that I heard someone recommend it to me, so I randomly tried it. It's called Ready Player One. I believe it was by Ernest Clyde. It was a pretty damn awesome one, and it was pretty awesome because I understood most of the references that the book made.
Yeah. You know, if you read the manhwa, The Gamer, you'll get most of the references as well.
And there goes someone else trying to drive me to that.
It's not someone else. I've been doing it for the past 2 streams.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
Yes, Arrow's doing it as well, isn't he?
Not with much effort, I'll say that. It's mainly me driving him to other ones that I distract him.
Trust me, it is a brilliant piece.
I trust many people that many think they're a brilliant piece, and look where it got me.
Yes. You've got a brilliant YouTube career ahead of you.
I don't know about career, but... I mean, just speaking in realistic sense, I'm not allowed to say, but the money that YouTube pays me for pretty much since I've joined YouTube isn't enough to buy half of my gaming library, not even a quarter of it.
That's okay, you have a real job.
Oh yeah, and even that's barely getting me by.
Quotation marks on the real job thing. Because I don't like it when people use real to describe something that they physically interact with. Like Oh, why don't you go outside and play with your real friends?
Well, it's
I
just
have.
because for questions like that, I always try to rebound it back to them and like, would you classify as a friend someone who's there for you, someone who talks to you when you're feeling down, someone who messes with you, someone who jokes with you like Harley, someone who knows you as much as you know yourself? Then real friends is anyone that you can make a connection with, whether they're online or offline.
Hmm, I say all my friends are real. It's just some of them I actually know in the physical world. Some I know through the internet online. They're both real friends. Just distance between us is greater than with the other. Because most of the time I just get weird looks for that.
Oh, believe me, I get weird looks from at work when they ask me why did I suddenly move over here, and I tell them, oh, I met Arrow and Dark. I use their real names when I'm talking, but I tell them, oh yeah, I met them on a chat room on the internet and decided to move in.
Hmm.
They
Okay,
just
that feels like a weird. Uh, trying to think of the right name. Ichi manga.
we are
In
not
fact, I think
we're not gonna
I'm
stray
pretty
to
sure
there.
this one actually was that plot.
There
Uh,
are several manga that have done this plot, and I have no interest in talking about them. Almost nothing of the original at this point, and you should know that.
Speaking of that type of area, what do you look for in a partner?
In a what?
In a partner.
You mean roommate or female partner?
Well, I meant sexual encounter, but well, I wasn't entirely sure, but I guess from the way your chat goes on that you do prefer females.
Hmm. In terms
Right.
of partners, I sort of never really bothered really questioning it much, just because this goes back to my whole high school life in that I was not a social person. I was not really one to put myself out there. I mean, when I went to middle school and high school, I was the one that was picked on, bullied, thrown into the lockers, thrown around and such, and eventually I just sort of like developed this sort of shell around me that I just didn't give them the response, didn't give them the answer, and after that I was alienated from everyone, females and everyone alike, and it sort of carried on. So I never
Mm.
really had the interaction of getting a girlfriend. I never had the interaction of anything like that. And the few times where I was asked out, it was always as a joke, and they would laugh it off and walk away, and I'd just be there going, "Oh yeah, there's another day."
Mm.
So I never really put the mindset of going, "What am I looking for in a girlfriend? What am I looking in a companion or anything like that?" I just take it as the day goes by, and if something arises, then it'll go.
Mm. All right. Uh, I have a somewhat similar situation, but see, I'm autistic. I had to go to a place called Resource Location at my high school, which helps people like me. I'm no uh, mentally deficient. I'm just my brain is wired differently.
Mm.
I perceive the world differently. Like you look and you see a wall. I see a pile of bricks, stuff like that. I just perceive it differently.
I look at the wall, and half the time I can't see the wall.
You can't see it for the bricks in.
No, no, my eyesight's just that bad, actually.
Hmm. Who said that?
Several people have said that. My eye doctor has said that.
Well, he said he can't see the wall either. Are you sure the
Uh,
wall's there?
well, one time, actually, it was kind of a funny thing when I was in the sort of office. I didn't know there was a wall, and I hit it. And then another time, actually, when we were leaving, I thought the wall was there, and I was trying to find a way around it, and they were looking at me funny. I was trying to find my way around a hallway.
Yeah. If only someone recorded that.
Thank God thank God this was all during the age where technology wasn't that far, and because I did a lot of stupid stuff back then. I'm just glad it's not archived anywhere.
Could you elaborate on them?
No, 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 I can't. No, my memory fades me for this sudden moment. I have no idea why.
Maybe your roommates would know.
Oh no, they didn't know me back then.
uh, uh, I believe we're going back. I believe we're on books or something.
We were on books. I told you Ready Player One, and the next one was actually I only even found it because this guy who's the author, he also does video game reviews, and he casually mentioned it. And again, after reading Ready Player One, I'm like, is it on Audible since I already have an account here? Oh, it does. It is there, and it's pretty damn cheap, so I might as well get it. And it is called Mogworld by Yossi Croshaw.
Hmm. I've never heard of either of them, by the way.
They're
They sound
pretty
interesting.
funny guy. It's a pretty funny guy, and it's a pretty alright book. It was one that I took an interest to, so there's that.
Have you ever been into Discworld or that?
Ever been to what?
Discworld.
Don't even know what that is.
It's Terry Pratchett in that.
Don't even know what that is.
Terry Pratchett is an author. He wrote books. There's about 40 in his Discworld series.
Don't even know what that is.
Basically, the whole world is on the back of 4 elephants. It's a flat world, which is why it's called the Discworld. And those 4 elephants are on the back of a giant flying space turtle.
I'm liking the scenario. Keep going. I'm liking the idea of just like the world on top of an element on top of a flying space space turtle. Keep going.
4 elephants are holding up the Discworld.
I'm sorry, Arrow's just like, he's right here in the living room with me, and he's just looking at me going, what is he talking about?
Oh, yeah, no.
I said not quite those words. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh yeah, Kuma says hi.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out how to.
But, there's 4 elephants supposedly. I think in one of them there was a 5th one, but it died. For some reason.
Oh yes, just an elephant capable of carrying a flat world suddenly just bites the big one. No one questions it. Alright, let's move on.
Well, they didn't know it was there. I don't think. But, there's werewolves, there's vampires, there's wizards. There's a book that contains 8 spells that could save or end the world, depending on when they're said. One has taken residence inside a wizard's head who can't learn any other spells because of this, and his name is Rincewind. And he, in the first and second book, is a tour guide through very odd situations, one of them being money, which is not very odd, in a walking trunk that is owned by a man called Two-Flower. Or, yeah, it's Two-Flower.
Interesting.
Also, Conan the Barbarian is in it as an old man.
Interesting.
All the books have different stories and usually centered around different characters, but there's certain ones that keep going back to, like Rincewind, and one is
The elephants.
no, Ludwig or something. He was a postmaster in one of them. There's also been 2-part movie TV adaptations. One of them was Going Postal, one was The Colour of Magic.
Never heard of those either.
One of them was The Hogfather. And it was not based on Godfather, it was a replacement for Father Christmas. By the way, Death, one of the funniest characters ever.
See, you know, when you talk about death, I don't really hear funny.
He's also a brilliant chef.
That I could believe. That's what I find strange.
No, as in he... I think it's the 4th book, he hires an assistant called Mort. Right? It's also the title of the book. And he takes a holiday to see what it's like in the real world. And he could alter the way people perceive him. To perceive him as a normal person. And he gets drunk. He gets completely smashed.
And there we have the story.
No, because the bartender can't put his finger on it, but he knows something's off about this guy. He leaves. You don't know what he's doing. I think you go back to him a couple times. One of the times he's under a tree, lying down, just pondering,
Mm-hmm.
working in a restaurant, and the guy owning it can't believe it because he's doing the orders in a split second. Because since he's a supernatural being that has control of one of the fundamental forces, he could do things in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a daughter.
As most people do.
He is death incarnate,
And
and he has a daughter.
I fail to see the issue.
She's adopted, by the way, but she is also half supernatural being.
Alright.
Is that you clicking?
I am doing no such thing.
I can just hear tick, 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 tick.
I'm doing nothing. You have no proof.
I have audible proof.
I don't hear any proof.
It's invisible, can't you see it?
I've yet to hear of someone who could see sound.
Well,
Well, actually, no. There was that one time in the house episode, but that's something entirely different.
No, as in sound, light are all frequencies. It's just the frequency they oscillate at that depends where we could hear them or see them.
Mhm.
So if you got a sound to a high enough frequency, you would be able to see it.
And I'm pretty sure many of the things would be damaged around you and inside you.
Though you wouldn't be able to hear it anymore. It's one of the things I learned in engineering. I may be misremembering it. But there's another book book series that I love a lot more than the Discworld. It's called Skullduggery Pleasant.
Never heard of it.
It is by an Irish author called Derek Landy.
Never heard of him.
He's also written a movie called The Boy Eats Girl.
Never heard of it.
And despite its name, it is not a porn.
That is shocking.
It's a zombie movie.
I can still see that happening. That's really strange.
No, this boy, he thinks he got turned by this girl because they were supposed to meet somewhere, but they were at different times. As in, they arrived at different times. So he went home. I'm not sure if he was trying to commit suicide or was trying to have a wank. Because he was on a chair at the time.
Mhm.
You know the way I'm on about, yeah?
Assume I am. Keep going.
His mother opens the door, knocks the chair from under him.
Hmm.
He dies.
That's normally what happens.
Hmm. So she goes to the church. There's a crypt under it with a magic book brought back from, I believe it's Louisiana or something. And it's a necromancer book. It was brought back by fallen priests or something.
The Necronomicon finds its way everywhere.
It's a form of Necronomicon. I don't think it's the Christian version.
The Bible?
No, as in, there's different types of undead raising books. I'm not sure if it is a Necronomicon or otherwise, but I know it was under a Christian church in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And she misreads she doesn't get all of the ingredients. One is missing. And he feels cold and this hunger. You could see where this is going, yes?
Somewhat. I'm gonna assume that yes, I do.
But he is still somewhat human. He's more human than most of the zombies that he creates. After he gets pissed off, gets into a fight and bites one guy's cheek open. and infects them. And it spreads from there.
Nature
There's
takes its course.
also, can't remember what one it is. You can one of those, oh, you can one of those farm tractors that's got the whirling blades. The ones that go up and down.
Mm.
It's something like that. And the zombies are, well, that's used on zombies at one point.
Okay.
There's also, I'm not sure if you know him, have you heard of a comedian called Russell Howard?
Nope.
Uh, he's somewhat ginger and he's got a wonky eye.
Never heard of him.
Well, there's a guy in it that looks a lot like him.
You're gonna be hearing me a lot of like I never heard of stuff. As my friend have said, I am very well deprived.
I've never heard that.
You clearly haven't been around my friends very long.
No, it's more I tend to experience. I have caught a stream on your channel, though it was a no talking stream apparently.
What? No, what?
Oh, one of the guys, he was playing a game and he wasn't talking. I think I was the only one that was actually watching. And I was answering responses.
Okay, that actually might be a couple of people, so I think I understand. Carry on.
I think it was a zombie game.
Nope, that limits it down.
It's only I think. It's not a Resident Evil type zombie game, I think it was on a beach.
Okay, now you lost me.
I may be misremembering very badly.
I think you are. Let's move on.
No, but Skullduggery Pleasant, it's about a skeleton detective and his teenage sidekick who's learning magic. He could also do magic. And they saved the world from an evil man who has a red hand that could kill people just by pointing at them.
Alright.
Also, the skeleton, he's not very likely to die. He doesn't even have his own head right now.
You know, they're interchangeable.
Yes, well, his first one was stolen.
That's usually what happens when you don't get a grip on it.
Well, he wasn't sleeping, he was more meditating, which is supposed to say he could get to sleep. As in, he shut off all his sensory. I'm not sure how he senses things, but he shut it all off.
Skeleton senses?
Well, he uses magic in some way. He doesn't see with eyes. He uses magic to perceive things. You'd know something similar if you watched Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I'll get to it. Stop bringing it. Stop pushing it.
Well, it's not explained very well. It's definitely not explained until a lot later how he can actually sense things, like seeing. But he was a mage before he was a skeleton. It was part of a secret war that we don't know about.
I don't know about it, clearly.
You don't know about a lot of things, though.
Yeah, that's a growing theme right now.
Yes, you can fill a book with the amount of things you don't know.
Pretty sure there is one.
I'm pretty sure there's several. Let's go to a Great Pleasant book series for one. But it is an amazing book. It's comedy, it's action, it's comedy. Honestly, the series is brilliant.
I'll add it to the list of things that I'll probably eventually get to.
It's got like 9 main books. 8.5 is called Armageddon Altapier.
Alright.
Which is a collection of stories that don't really fit in the main books, but are still part of the world.
I'll have to look it up then.
and there's also the Maleficent 7, which is about one of the characters from the books who got possessed by something called a remnant, which is an evil spirit that's contained within a hotel that is constantly moving.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where it never appears in the same place twice. There's also zombie hordes in one book. It's a brilliant series. And I've just realised that we're no longer doing an interview, more book series review.
Yeah, it's kind of eventually went into a tangent of you trying to convince me to read a story.
You should still read it though.
It's on the list somewhere in the bottom.
Can you think of anything we could go on to now?
But this is you're interviewing me. You're asking the person who's getting interviewed to try and come up with topics now?
I'm still technically asking you a question.
Really?
Yes. Oh wait, how did you get started on YouTube?
Nope. It originally started with me going, I don't want to do this homework right now. What can I do that might change my opinion on wanting to do homework and procrastinating more? I can play Disgaea. I can record Disgaea. It can go on YouTube. Let's do that.
Yes, I could claim I was doing something productive instead of just playing video games.
No, at no point was it productive.
I was bringing joy to 0.1 person.
Hey, in the beginning there was at least 3.
Was one of them you?
Only a couple of times.
Stuff like that never gets old. So why did you choose to become a prinny?
Well, it was something that, again, with all of Nipponichi's games, the Prinny is the most recognizable character, as whenever there's usually a crossing of the series where, like in post games or something like that, where you can see characters coming over, the Prinny is the most likely one to stop by.
Have you met Amos? Is Amos the Prinny called, yeah?
Nope.
Are you sure? I thought it was like Amos Mark II and Disgaea 3.
Wait, Alma's?
It was ASOM.
No, I don't think so. But then again, for Disgaea 3, it was the one that I went the least into the post game.
No, as in it was a Prinny that was right beside your door at the start.
Oh, he's long forgotten.
Alright. You forget your own kind, how could you?
Of course.
So, for your birthday, I gave you 1 extra health pay. What is your current total?
It's still in the negatives. I think I would have to round that to 0 still.
Now, in terms of Steam games, have you heard of Goat Simulator?
It's hard not to hear about that game when Dark goes on about it.
Well, I downloaded it recently. And I can't get past the loading screen.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Yes! But I think it's to do with my RAM. I think the minimum's, I think it's 2 gig for the bare minimum. I've got
It is a pretty intensive game. It involves goats.
Yes! Goats are epic. And I have just minimized some tabs. And guess what I've just saw?
Your desktop?
Over that, it says, MP3 Skype recorder has stopped working. And this is why why I asked you to record your end.
Yeah, I'm still recording, but Bandicam keeps stopping and then restarting over and over, so I'm gonna have to go through if any of this is even usable or not, or at your beckon, we might start over again.
Yes, hopefully on a different day, when I have questions on a list.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Yog?
No, actually.
It's can't mind, it's a visual novel of sorts. It's a choose your own adventure, and it's multiplayer,
Interesting.
but it's not voice acted. So you pick a narrator, he reads it out, and it's between 2 to 4 characters. You can play it on single, you can play all 4, or you can get a group of friends to play it with. And it's random events every time, but there's areas you go to, and depending on what happens, they can be destroyed
Interesting.
and unaccessible for the rest of the game. And you have 6 weeks. You pick one activity for the 6 weeks. You usually get another option to try something that happens at the area you choose to go to. Like at the arena, you could choose to place a bet or fight. After that scenario's done, it gives you a second scenario of, for instance, you find a dagger lying on the ground. Do you pick it up or leave it alone?
Obviously, you
up.
kick it.
If you pick it up, there's a chance, based on your stats, to go, you are not worthy, and it disappears into smoke. You gain magic for witnessing such an event. You lose 1 mind, which is basically sort of like sanity. And if you are worthy, you cannot lose a fight, and you absorb the power of those you kill.
Awesome.
There's also leeches. Oh, and a demon baby that grows up and goes to the arena that you could kill with a knife and become a demon lord.
Sounds like a dandy good time.
Yes, you've got 6 weeks, and then the Yog comes. I'm not going to say what the Yog is, because it doesn't say it until the actual point it arrives. Could be a storm, could be
That is a
party,
worrying sound. Okay, no, it's not.
or
We're
a load of
recording.
other
Yeah!
stuff like a dragon. Right. But it's only one of them. They added, it's not this a random chance to be part one of the burning, is definitely just one. I've put, they added, depending on what you did and what your stats are now, you have a selection of jobs to pick from. One is like the leader, one's doctor, one's goes into a grid-like system. Looter, one's town drunk. You can shoot your weapon a couple times, and they'll affect how the tournament survive. So the price here is negatively affect.
I'm actually going to
You
Google
could
this
guess
right.
what
It's
two
30.
they are. Yeah. And you have 3 possible main outcomes. One is the city dies. 2 is you don't die out, but you don't thrive. Sort of a middle ground. And 3 is you flourish. Back and better than it was before. And then you get individual endings tailored to your character and what you did. Though half the time you still end up dying.
Yeah.
But you can't die until the 6 weeks are up. It's a very fun game, especially if you have friends with you.
Awesome.
And if you give me your Steam account, I'll be able to share my library with you and you can play it.
It's fine. I'll get to it eventually.
You can also play it on your channel.
I'll get to it eventually.
That's what you always say about stuff, but you never get to it.
I'll get to getting to it eventually.
Hmm. I'll stop procrastinating later.
Yep. Well, it's also kind of lingering back to that. I have a lot of games that people have asked me to play, and I said, "Oh, go ahead and play that when the slot opens up," and I've kept putting even those back. I've started going back and fixing those, but I have to. There's still some in the queue, so me putting my own desires up there will obviously be priority because it's something that I want to play immediately and something that I think my audience would like. But for that old stuff, I still have it in mind, and I still have it in the queue, sort of going, this is next, this is next, this is next. As long as nothing else gets into my way, this is next. So I can't just throw something else in front of it willy-nilly.
You could speed it up by not actually having full series, but you could do a let's try, see how that works, and ones that seem most popular, you just do them.
Maybe.
Hmm. Hmm. That's almost an hour, yeah?
I actually have no earthly clue.
Well, I'm looking at the call time.
Oh yeah, you're recording, supposedly recording for the call time. I wasn't.
By the way, if you would like to know what I was using to record, there was MP3 Skype recorder. Yes, go there if you want to crash halfway through.
See, you don't even know when you crash, so that's the sad part.
I'm going to guess about half an hour in.
Because currently, I've put everything, all the bits I've recorded into Sony Vegas right now, and it's totaling 34 minutes, and what Bandicam is recording still is a grand, 21 minutes going into 22 minutes.
Alright.
So it's a good amount.
I have a legal question for you.
Oh, great. These ones.
It's not legal heavy, it's just, can I use your YouTube avatar as the background for the video?
You do know what my avatar is, right?
It is a plenty.
You think in any way in the world I actually own copyright hold for that image? I got that off of Google imaging, searching Printy, and picking, the first row of things. I just said, you know what? That's it. And you think I have legal claims over that?
Well, if you draw a mustache on it, you will.
I think I'd be defacing a Printy at that point.
If you add a single pixel, it will be yours.
I don't think that will hold up.
It is not the same image, it has been altered.
By what, a fraction of a kilobyte?
Yes. If you can prove that it is different, I don't think they can hold you. Though, I'm not sure, but...
And this is why you're not my legal advisor.
I thought it was because I was studying different law. I was studying the law of physics. But, do you think this will hold up in court? I am an atheist, right?
Okay.
And in the Bible it states the only being that could judge a man is his God. Since I am an atheist, and I have no God, no one can judge me.
There's a difference between having no God and believing in no God. One is it's nothing's up there, and one is you turning a blind eye to it.
I have no God, I do not believe there is God, so therefore no one can judge me.
Unless he is up there and he's looking at you funny right now. Look at him, you going like, oh my God, he's really egging me on.
Smite me, almighty smiter!
Yeah, he doesn't have time enough for that. There are too many people saying that at this moment.
Well, like, if he doesn't... Is he supposed to be omnipotent or something, or whatever they tell on about?
Yeah, even though other people have to take a break and snooze for a while. I think they called it the Dark Ages.
Alright. I thought that's when Justin Bieber went to.
He's been around that long?
No, he got a time machine. His thing was so bad, he created a rip in space-time, and he was thrown back to them. It was supposed to be a second age of enlightenment.
Okay, immediately I'm calling this universe you're creating BS, and Bieber cannot be connected in any way, shape, or form to enlightenment.
He went to the second age of enlightenment and turned it into the Dark Ages with his awful, awful singing.
I doubt a voice could cause that, especially in an age where, what, the voice could only travel so far. So many would be pure and free from it. And they would warn him and kill him on sight.
He's a witch.
That female there with the voice, it is no siren, 'tis a witch.
Oh, that reminds me, a few years ago, it goes about 3 years ago, it was supposedly when he knocked up a lesbian.
This just took a very strange turn now, didn't it?
And people on the internet were calling it a demon baby, the spawn of Satan, the omen child. Because it is something that should not exist.
You mean aside for Bieber itself?
The child of the lesbian Bieber.
And once again, I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. This is going from an interview to story time with Kuma.
Just to double check, you are American, yeah?
Yes. Somewhat.
Good. Because at least 2/3 of the videos I have on now that involve interviews are with Canadians. And I really don't want to be known as the guy who interviews Canadians.
Quizás tenemos que hablar con otras personas.
Okay?
Oh yeah, now you speak Spanish randomly, huh?
Say what?
Yes, I also speak Spanish because my family is Salvadorian.
Alright. Can't remember what was do you speak English in Spanish?
¿Hablas inglés?
Alright, thank you. I know in several languages. I know how to say it in French, German. I used to know it in Japanese. I know how to say my name is Kuma. And I am Scottish.
I know how to say that too, but only in English.
That's I'm going to get so that any time of day you're watching this, it'll be relevant. Ohio, konnichiwa, konbanwa, watashi wa Kuma-ken desu.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. No, wait, I've got that wrong. Ohio, konnichiwa, konbanwa, hajime mashita, Kuma-ken desu, watashi wa Scotland dojen desu. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Kuma-ken. I am Scottish person.
Story time with Kuma, everyone!
That is not true. That is actually Japanese and English. Though I am more fluent in gibberish. Do you speak that language?
Which one?
Gibberish.
No, I don't speak legal terms.
That's jargon. I also have a smattering in that, by the way. I also know when to detect bullshit. Especially when it comes to jargon. One thing I really hate in jargon is double talk. It gets really repetitive. Do you have any questions for me before we end off?
How did we get this derailed?
I believe it has something to do with me, and I like to go on tangents without really going back to where I started.
It began with a book.
Really? I thought it began with Mugen Souls.
I count the book as the true tangent.
Well, I count this entire interview as a tangent, as it came from you getting 1,000 subscribers.
Whoa.
Mind blown. By the way, from what I remember, you also like playing Cards Against Humanity.
It's not really that I enjoyed, just that it was introduced to me. I had to learn it the same way that at the current stream, Nef had to learn it like that, and I just saw it. I'm like, it seems like fun. I'll grab Killer Rock, I'll grab Dark, I'll grab Arrow, I'll grab a couple more friends on Skype. We'll play it and see how far south this thing goes.
Right, you should put up more of that, by the way.
We need enough
Like,
people.
well, you could get me. You could occasionally get Super Funny. If you get dirt on your roommates, you could get them. I assume by being the roommates you have dirt on them.
Not really. Yeah, not really.
English, man, English.
I speak yawning.
I do too, but that wasn't yawning. If it was a different dialect from what I'm used to. I'm like, "Hey!"
Praise Jeebus.
I could also speak Swahili only when I'm drunk, though.
That seems to be the gateway for all languages.
Yes, if we get everyone in the world drunk, we'll create the universal language.
I think it'll be called sleeping.
No, I think it would involve more projectile vomiting.
We're not talking about warfare, we're talking about languages.
Oh, that reminds me, have you heard of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yes, I've heard of 42.
Do you remember the description of the Babelfish?
Nope.
The thing that allowed everyone to understand what they were saying?
Nope.
Yellowfish went in the ear.
Nope.
Created more wars than regular players because they could understand what they were saying.
Never heard of it.
Alright. It was part of the whole that this is proof of God, therefore he doesn't exist. Because without faith, God does not exist. And with proof, faith is not required. Man then went on to prove that black is white and then was killed on the next zebra crossing.
Sounds logical.
So I think yours are called pelican crossings.
I just call them crossings.
Don't know why someone called them pelican crossings.
Maybe a pelican was crossing it one day?
Well, zebra crossing makes some sort of sense. They've got a similar pattern.
I just thought a zebra crossed it.
Well, they go black, white, black, white, black, white. Could have called them beetle crossings as well.
Story time with Kuma.
Hey, if you look up Beatles albums, Zebra Crossing, you'll come up with an album. The band The Beatles, Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, and then crossing a zebra crossing.
No, it just came up of a lot of things that redirect to 4chan, I believe.
Oh, have you heard of SCPs?
Considering we just talked about 4chan, I don't know if I want to have heard of it.
No, it's a Men in Black sort of thing that was, from what I hear, created by people on 4chan.
There are certain rules of the internet. I believe one of them was not talking about what goes on.
Only when you're not there. And I believe we are talking via the internet, so we are there technically. A lot of my wheeling out of stuff involves the word technically. Have you noticed that? Reb, what is your moe?
You know, I was waiting for this question to come up. And you want to know a fun fact?
Yeah.
I was actually going to say it at the end of the Mugen Souls Let's Play, but if everyone's going to keep asking, I'm just going to delay it more and more.
You're here first. Stop asking until after the end when he forgets to say. Come on, Rev. You know yourself you'll forget.
Oh, no, I won't. I've been planning on saying it for quite a while.
Is it one of the actual forms?
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Because I'm not sure if my one counts. Does it have to be one of the forms she changes into?
Mm-hmm. Ask Lunar. He's the one that started this whole thing.
That's cool.
Lunar.
Alright. Could you ask Lunar for us?
No.
Please.
No.
Hello, Rebellion didn't mean to me.
Thank God he's not here. Or hearing this.
Yeah, he'd probably say what it was.
No, he actually technically doesn't know. Again, as I said in the stream, he often walks in on my grinding sessions, and when I'm actually grinding in Mugen Souls, they have this whole system that I've yet to actually figure out what the number is based on. You can only form change in battle a certain number of times. And often when I'm grinding, I stay there grinding the same creatures over and over, trying to Moa kill them to get some Shampoodoos.
Oh.
And when he walks in, it's usually on the rear end of all when I'm doing that world, so with that, I'm stuck on one form and have to try and sort of like assume that I am higher level, therefore I can sort of Moa kill anything with a single form that I'm left at, and I don't bother changing anymore. And with that, he's got the idea that this one form is my Moa.
By the way, you know what's a good world? Metal World. Fight the cats. And
It's
be
foxes.
Like, some of them look like cats.
I read that comment too.
Yeah, I've got the game.
Believe it or not, yes, I read the comments. Every single one. There's so few I can actually read them all at work.
I actually looked it up. I did not leave the comment though. I looked it up.
Oh yeah, someone else left a comment.
So how far along are you with Phantom Brave, roughly?
In terms of completion, I would actually comfortably say I'm roughly 70-ish% done. I'm still trying to get to the point where my main cast of characters that I had back then are leveled up enough that I can progress through the story and unlock everyone else that's supposed to be unlocked and get them along the way as well leveled up.
Have you unlocked werewolves yet?
I don't think so, actually.
Could you please check, and if you have, could you please name one of them free?
No.
Why? He's a brilliant character.
Again, when I do character invitations like that, you must comment and pray. Preferably to RNGesus.
Wait, hang on. I call upon the coins of destiny.
The coins do not save you here. It is all about random.org for picking these characters. You know this.
They saved me before when I called Hotels on stream and got my character made in that game.
Yep, that was fun.
And then you gave the Prinny a pity character.
That was fun too.
Mm. By the way, when I do say Prinny in stream, I am referring to Super Prinny.
Yep.
Not you. So why do you respond as if I'm talking to you?
Because you are talking to me.
I'm not. I refer to you as Reb.
Well then what is this interview if you're not talking to me?
I'm talking to Arrow, but he is not here at the moment, so you for Ben. Are you still there?
Oh, of course I am, because you're talking to me.
Well, you could have left.
Not really, because this thing that we use to communicate is kind of latched onto my head at the moment, and I'm kind of tethered to it, so I can't go very far.
Ding. Actually, what is the battery level on it right now?
There is no battery level. I'm using a headset, and after past experiences of the battery failing, mind you, I went ahead and got a wired one, and now I'm happy.
Aww. I enjoyed it when I went ding. And my headset is down.
It was more beep, beep, beep. Oh, there it goes. The one that goes ding, that's Dark and Arrow right now.
Alright. Did you give them your headset or something?
I gave Arrow my old one. He's apparently going to try and sort of go Frankenstein on them and try to take both his and mine apart and try to put together the parts that actually work to create one that still functions.
Wait, if he's going Frankenstein, does that mean you're Igor?
I feel you're insulting me.
Well, you supplied the parts to him.
I supplied some. He had the rest, all in his scrapyard of a room.
Yes, but you supplied him the parts he needed to create his monster.
Actually, no. But that is a story for another time.
There's another time now. There's another time from when it was that you said that.
No.
Yes, it is. It's seconds later. That was a different time.
No. It's still time. And therefore, another time we must wait for.
Time is non-existent. If you take a single instant and you calculate the movement that is happening in that instant, you'll come up with zero movement. So therefore, there is no movement taking place at any time. So therefore, there is no time.
Story time with Kuma-ken, everyone!
I'm not joking, that is a real theory.
I know, and this is really story time with Kuma-ken.
Do you think you've got the voice for it?
Not really, no.
Me neither. I actually sound quite a bit higher in my head.
In my own, head, when I hear myself, I think I sound annoying as all hell, yet people enjoy it, so, eh.
No, but the first time I heard myself, recorded anyway, in a while, was I think, the first video I have on YouTube. And I was surprised I didn't even recognize it. The last time I heard my own voice played back to me was when I was 5.
Once again, we go back into the realm of story time.
Yeah, let's reminisce with Kuma. What's the brilliant game?
I'm actually serious. This episode that if you're gonna put this up, whatever it's gonna be called, it should be called Storytime with Kuma-ken. Because I see no other way to call it, just because half of this content, I believe, is you telling a story.
Have you not seen how interviews work?
I have seen successful interviews work, but I haven't seen your interviews.
Well, from what I remember, there was less story time with Kuma, but that was because they waited a little bit so I could actually form a list of questions to ask, instead of just going, okay, let's do it now.
I didn't say let's do it now. You're the one that called.
You said, I'm ready, call anytime.
Call whenever you want to do whenever you're ready. That implies whenever you're ready, not now.
Alright. Actually, I'm going to check what you actually said.
I have the Skype chat open right now.
What does it actually say?
Alright, got some more to know. Call or whatever you want to do whenever you are ready. Smiley face.
Alright. And that smiley face says it all.
It doesn't say now.
That's because it stopped talking. I am not crazy. I know that's what a crazy person would say. Mind you, most psychopaths think that they're perfectly sane. By the way, if a sane man believes he's insane, does that make him insane?
Yes.
But he's perfectly sane.
Yes.
His beliefs should not alter whether he is insane or not, should they?
Yes.
Unshoot rebellion. Let's see, what should he do? Oh, complete this guy through in next month.
I'm gonna go with a no.
Damn. Tell you what, I'll flip you for it. Alright?
Alright, let's tell you what. I'll flip a coin. If it's heads, I'll pick up this guy at 3 again. If it's tails, I won't.
Alright.
Oh, it fell off into the corner. I can't see it. Let's move on.
Well, someone's heads.
We'll assume it's tails for the sake of it being tails.
Well, it's a 50-50 shot. Actually, we flip a coin to decide what it was.
Alright, let me grab a nickel right here. If it's heads, we're gonna assume it's heads. If it's tails, we'll assume it's tails. Oh, wait, no, we're in the same corner. Let's move on.
Alright, this time, flip the coin, and if it's tails, we assume it's heads for both the other two. And if it's heads, we assume it's tails.
Alright, let me get the time and do that. If it's tails, we'll assume it's heads. If it's heads, we'll assume it's tails. That coin must be magnetic. Let's move on now.
Let's flip it somewhere else.
It just floats over there. I swear it.
Yes, it's almost as if you weren't flipping it and creating your own story time. Hmm?
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 Huh?
Hmm. Rebellion.
Yeah?
Why did you choose the name Rebellion? Was it just an act of rebellion?
Nope. It was because of Devil May Cry.
Hmm? Devil May Cry. Why?
Because when my friend first let me borrow his PS2 games, among Disgaea 2, which was my first Disgaea game that he ever let me borrow, was Devil May Cry 3. And with that game, the main character, Dante, his main sword that you pretty much always have in the beginning area, and the one that I gravitated to was called Rebellion. Kind of stuck.
Well, I got my name from a manga.
I had no such idea.
I think it's Sekire.
Really? You went to Sekire?
It was an attack. And
From
it,
Sekire.
and it translates as bare fist.
From Sekire.
I have still yet to finish reading that, and I've had the name for donkey's years now.
Well, I guess I should still give you credit. I mean, my friend tried to come up with a name, and he, for some reason, thought of going to Queensblade. I have no idea where he is now or what his name is now, and I don't want to find out.
I assume it's something to do with hentai.
To his defense, he apparently tried to get me to watch it, saying it had plot.
In his defense, well, no, in his defense, there is something that I read that did have a somewhat plot.
Well, the thing is, you have to differentiate between plot and plot.
Yes, there's very big.
One gets
plot.
the story going, the other one allows it to float.
Yes, and the second one likes to float up and down, side to side, side to side. And it has two very big points that usually.
One holds the story up, the other one has a physics engine in it.
No,
Oh.
but
Now almost home. What do you know? You might end up hearing Dark and Arrow right now. And
Alright.
they're asking for me to open the door for some reason? The fuck? Hold on.
By the way, this is not being edited out. You're going to have to put up with me doing this while he is away. If it is still recording on his end.
And I am back.
Right. I was just saying I'm not editing this awkward bit out while you're away.
Have I ever edited anything in my videos?
No.
Then why would you expect me to edit that out?
No, I said I'm not going to edit it out.
Then we share a common laziness.
You're
Yes.
still at it?
And that laziness explains why I've been absent for 6 months off YouTube.
You started this like an hour and a half ago.
Yes, we did.
It's an hour and 25 minutes, yeah.
Hi, guys.
And you want to know a fun fact, Arrow? I could almost swear about 40 minutes of it is him telling me a story.
It is not a story, it is several.
Okay, several stories, he corrects me.
Yes, but I still need help moving a PS3.
Yes, I'm
No.
aware. I'll get to that.
No, but
I want to start in
the
30
manga
minutes.
roundabout.
Alright.
I have to still do
Okay.
testing and get the PS3 set up.
Alright, I'm just going to say you're going to want a TV or something over there.
If I have my monitor, I'll be fine.
You say so.
The manga I was on about, it's called Blade Play, if I remember correctly. It involves self-censoring, I know that.
No, he's not.
And the story is, a chosen hero who plays video games is taken to a magical land where he cures female demons by sleeping with them.
You read a very select genre of manga, don't you?
No.
Well, unfortunately, dude, you might have heard Arrow say, I'm not entirely sure, I do have to actually help him set up Dark Souls for his Let's Play right now. Or Demon Souls.
No, but the point of the manga was the boobs to plot ratio has gotten so bad in it that I have to create a boobs to plot ratio.
Hmm.
It did have plot, and then like chapter 40, it was just meaningless boobs.
Well, at least you figured it out.
No, as in they actually abandoned the story for several chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions for me before we finish off?
Did you intend for this to become story time with Kuma-ken?
No.
Oh, well, that about sums it up.
Right? Your channel again, please.
It is 19 Rebellion, 19 Rebellion, wow, 19 Rebellion 91.
And do you have a sign off?
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you had a great time. And I'll see you guys in the next episode, or if this is not an episode, I hope I don't have to go through another story time thing. No offense.
It's alright. Play it cards again though. Or beat you at cards again.
You did no such thing. It was a pity win.
No. Alright, Arrow, music. Please tell me you're going to put music at the end of this.
What music?
The music you play at the end of your videos.
You know I'm leaving this in, right?
Yes.
Oh, man.
I'm sure at least 1/5 of this is just going to be us laughing.